leaders here in the US.
Ouais, bref, moi, c'est ce que je peux dire sur moi.
To be brief, that's what I can say for now.
Right. And if my mic is on, good evening, everyone, and also good evening to everyone following us online. To say a little bit about myself, my name is Kathy Miamba. I'm currently finishing up my PhD at Abilene Christian University. A little bit about myself and my background. I am in a leadership position at a financial company here in Westlake. I'm originally from Congo. Another thing that I can say about myself is the fact that I serve at a church in North Richland Hills. It's called Yahweh Shammah Church, one of the leaders in that particular church. And I'm very excited to be here. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's going to be a great time for us to kind of bridge the gap between the information that we don't know about. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Exiki Contoy. I moved here in the United States in 2010. So I've been here about 11 years ago. I'm married, father of 3, and I hold a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in system engineering. When Linda told me about the STEM integration of the challenges of integration, and that really interested me because most of our immigrants go through a lot of challenges before integrating themselves. And if we can sit down and talk about this, that this can help other people that are coming after us to have a better integration. You know, they can do it faster, they can avoid the mistakes that we made, and they can just, you know, get together with the Americans and just live life to the fullest.
Well, without any further ado, so at this point, I will pass the stage to Linda. Linda, you'll take it from here and just kind of walk us through the vision and everything that, the vision that you have for this platform.
Donc, Victorious, c'est une association. C'est une association qui a été créée, ça fait, je pense, 3 mois ici à Dallas.
Victorious is an association that's been created for about 3 months here in Dallas.
Il y a 3 cofondateurs.
There are about 3 of us.
Il y a Gabin.
There's Gabin.
Jobel.
Joba.
Et moi.
And Linda.
Pourquoi nous avons créé cette association?
Why did we create this association?
Parce que nous sommes tous des immigrés, au fait.
Because we are all immigrants.
Et en venant ici aux États-Unis,
and by us coming here in the US,
on rencontre beaucoup d'obstacles, beaucoup de défis.
We encounter many and different challenges.
Qui poussent plusieurs à craquer, au fait.
That pushes so many of us to just give up.
Et moi, je fais partie des personnes qui ont eu à craquer.
And I am among those people that can't keep on.
Donc, j'avais eu à faire une dépression.
So I had to go through a depression.
Pendant la période de la COVID, j'étais bloquée ici.
During for the, I think we started a few minutes late than we had initially intended. We would like to also invite everybody sitting in the back row to come to the front and to just be 2 on the seats. If we can do that, that would be great. We appreciate it. Thank you so very much. So once again, my name is Grace Mutombo, and I would like to welcome all the people watching us live as we are having this discussion, which was organized by the Victorious Association for the Depression and Prevention and the Immigration Supports. That's our name. And I would like to give each and everyone a chance to just kind of introduce themselves, and we can just go around the table. So if we can start with you, Danny.
My name is Danny Mullenda. I'm originally from Congo, and I've been in the United States for 8 years. I have a bachelor in computer information technology, and I also have a company called Mullenda Tech, and I'm glad to be here.
Linda.
J'espère que ça va, ok. Je m'appelle Linda Kabombo, je suis entrepreneur, écrivaine, artiste. Bon, on me qualifie, on m'appelle entrepreneur à multiples casquettes.
My name is Linda, and I'm an entrepreneur, I am a businesswoman, and I have a few other things that I do on the side.
Yeah. Donc, je suis présidente de l'association Victorieuse.
I am the president of Victorious Association,
Yeah, et responsable d'une entreprise d'événementiel, consulting.
and I'm also the, say that one time.
Consulting, événementiel.
Et je suis aussi- and I'm also the president of the consulting agency.
Yeah, donc, j'ai un magazine qui promouvoit les leaders africains aux États-Unis.
And I have a magazine that's promoting African leaders here in the US.
Ouais, bref, moi, c'est ce que je peux dire sur moi.
To be brief, that's what I can say for now.
Right. And if my mic is on, good evening, everyone, and also good evening to everyone following us online. To say a little bit about myself, my name is Kathy Miamba. I'm currently finishing up my PhD at Abilene Christian University. A little bit about myself and my background. I am in a leadership position at a financial company here in Westlake. I'm originally from Congo. Another thing that I can say about myself is the fact that I serve at a church in North Richland Hills. It's called Yahweh Shammah Church, one of the leaders in that particular church. And I'm very excited to be here. I think it's a great opportunity, and it's going to be a great time for us to kind of bridge the gap between the information that we don't know about. So thank you very much.
Hello, everybody. My name is Exiki Contour. I moved here in the United States in 2010. So I've been here about 11 years ago. I'm married, father of 3, and I hold a bachelor's degree in computer science and a master's degree in system engineering. When Linda told me about the STEM integration of the challenges of integration, and that really interested me because most of our immigrants go through a lot of challenges before integrating themselves. And if we can sit down and talk about this, that this can help other people that are coming after us to have a better integration. You know, they can do it faster, they can avoid the mistakes that we made, and they can just, you know, get together with the Americans and just live life to the fullest.
Well, without any further ado, so at this point, I will pass the stage to Linda. Linda, you'll take it from here and just gonna walk us through the vision and everything that the vision that you have for this platform.
Donc, Victorieuse, c'est une association. C'est une association qui a été créée, ça fait, je pense, 3 mois ici à Dallas.
Victorious is an association that's been created for about 3 months here in Dallas.
Il y a 3 cofondateurs.
There are about 3 of us.
Il y a Gabin,
There's Gabin,
Jobel
Joba,
et moi.
and Linda.
Pourquoi nous avons créé cette association?
Why did we create this association?
Parce que nous sommes tous des immigrés, au fait.
Because we are all immigrants.
Et en venant ici aux États-Unis,
And by us coming here in the US,
on rencontre beaucoup d'obstacles, beaucoup de défis
we encounter many and different challenges
qui poussent plusieurs à craquer, au fait.
that pushes so many of us to just give up.
Et moi, je fais partie des personnes qui ont eu à craquer.
And I am among those people that can keep on.
Donc, j'avais eu à faire une dépression.
So I had to go through a depression
Pendant la période de la Covid, j'étais bloquée ici.
During the period of COVID-19.
Donc, habituée à être en mouvement au Congo.
Being so used to being always in the move while back in the Congo.
Donc, ici, j'ai rencontré beaucoup de défis, au fait.
So here I had to run into too many challenges.
Que j'en parlerai lors de mon intervention.
So that I will discuss further as we go along.
Yeah, c'est comme ça que l'idée m'est venue.
And this is how the idea came to me.
Quand je me suis en sortie victorieuse
on how I became victorious
de la dépression,
from the depression.
je me suis dit pourquoi pas aider aussi les autres
So I said to myself, why not helping others
à sortir victorieux
to come out victorious
de cette, je sais pas appeler ça pathologie ou maladie,
from this, if I may call it, sickness
que la majorité des immigrés
that many of the immigrants
vivent ici aux États-Unis,
live here in the US,
mais ils osent pas en parler.
but they don't have the guts or the strength to speak about.
Je ne sais pas pourquoi.
I don't know why,
Mais moi, je me dis, si je me suis en sortie,
but I say to myself, if I was able to come out of it,
c'est pour aider aussi les autres d'être victorieux face à cette situation.
is to also help other people come out victorious from this situation.
Donc, raison pour laquelle on a créé l'association Victorieuse.
And this is the reason why we created this Victorious Association.
Donc, je suis la visionnaire en fait.
So in which I am the visionary.
Voilà un tout petit peu l'histoire de.
So this is just a little bit of the background on where the idea is coming from.
Un peu ça.
Yeah, it's a little bit of that. And while we were remaining on this, Danny, if I can look at the panel, everyone has had some sort of challenges. How did you overcome? Did you go through something that you'll describe as it being a depression? And if so, how did you overcome?
Yeah, for me, I would say that I did not went to like a depression, but I had so many challenge from moving here from the first day. I'll probably say or tell a little story of how I came here. So I moved here as a international student, and as everyone know, international student when they move here, it's tough. And when I moved here the first day, I went to a English school back at home. We call it Cali, and I did like couple months. So my English was, I'll probably say, for me it was better. But then when I moved here, I'm like, no. At the airport when I got here, so the officer, whenever they welcome people, so I was on the line. We had to do a line to like go in to check your paperwork. And when the officer called the person who was in front of me, and I thought he's calling me. So I went to the officer when he had somebody. So he got really mad and say, "Get back over the line." So I did not understand that. I was like, "What did he say?" So that was the first challenge. So I don't know if I'm probably sure that everybody here can share like different things that they have went through. But as moving here for the first day, it gave me like kind of like frustrated, like, oh, what am I actually even doing here? So now moving forward, the language was a big challenge because when I moved here without knowing English, I'm someone who's really talkative. I like to be around people, but then when I moved here, I got really shy. I couldn't like hang out with people. It was just like I'll probably say it was just tough for me to like speak out or be myself. And I was talking to one of my friends one day, and then I told him like, I think I maybe should just get back home. And then when I called my parent, they're like, no, I mean, we send you there for you to go to school. You have to at least go to school and see how it is. Everybody from other country, they go there and learn the language or the English. And me speaking so many language, I was like, yes, I can do it. So I had like some push up from so many different people. And I'll also say the information that people has when I start like knowing the how things works here, like by immigration and like how to get information about businesses and stuff like that. I feel like our not only the Congolese community, but also the African community who moving here from another country, we have we don't find or we don't look for information. So on my piece, information is really the key. And I always tell people like if you have the right information at the right moment, it probably be easier for you to develop yourself. Even going to school as computer information technology, I'm sure you know, like you have to learn those programming language. It's also another challenge. And I always say, if you have a child, if you overcome the challenge for the language, that means you can also overcome other challenges. So that's probably what I would say.
Thank you, Danny. Now, my sister, please remind me the name again one more time. Dr. Kathy. Okay. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you encountered when you moved to the US and how did you overcome those?
Okay, some of the challenges that I encountered when I moved into the US. Well, first of all, my move was a little bit different because I came in with my mother. So what he was talking about was as a national international student. Well, here in America first, people move here in different statuses. You have people that win the DV lottery and then move in with a green card. There's people that come in as international students and they come here and it's a whole other situation. You don't get to work, you go to school the whole time. Then you have your refugees, and there's two types of refugees. You have those refugees that come in as asylum, and you have those refugees that come in from camps where they come out of war. So all those people come in with different statuses. I was one of those people that came in through my mom, so it's a whole different thing. But in terms of challenges, if you say challenges, I would say that language was a big thing, because if you don't understand the language, you can't get past anything. And of course, my parents were limited as to how they could help me, because they also had a language barrier. Remember, kids here, when they come to the United States, they can easily integrate into a society and they learn the language extremely fast. So it creates a cultural divide between parents and kids. And that's how you see parents say, oh, those Americanized kids. There's a gap. You know, parents don't understand the language, they don't understand the culture. So, you have a language barrier where you have to adapt yourself in school. And when you're falling behind again at a very young age, once you get older, you don't have anyone around you that has a bachelor's degree. You have no one around you that has a master's degree. You have no one around you that have a PhD. So those are really the main challenges that I really face. But I think it's about being in the right environment. And I say that because, like you said, information is key. I say information in the right environment is key. Why? Because if you are around people who's been somewhere, it's easy for you to obtain information. It lets you know what your rights are as a person and where you stand in your status, but it also gives you access to the information that you need to get to where you want to get to. But there's a lot of things that people don't know about. People don't, not because they don't want to do it, but they just don't have the information about it. And the people around them are not able to help them because they're not educated with that information. So to answer your question, the challenges that I faced was basically language barrier, culture shock, coming to a different culture. It's a whole different world. And also adapting and adjusting myself in a foreign environment.
My brother, if you can kind of like pick up where she left off, can you tell us a little bit about some of the challenges that you had to encounter?
My mic is off. Okay. Yeah, she spoke about culture shock. Yeah, that's something that everyone get, that that shock when they come to America, because what we see in America is the Beyonces and Jay-Z's and all these stars, living a good life. And then when you come here, you're hit in the face that, hey, there's some people on the street, asking for things. You have to take the bus. You need a car here. So the challenges that I got mostly when I came to America, because I came from Zimbabwe. My wife and I, we met in Zimbabwe, and we had big dreams to come to America. And we were speaking already English very well and stuff. And when we came here in America, my wife was already pregnant, so, and we were student. We came as international student as well. So we had to go to school and be parents. So that was really tough, because we just found out that, okay, you cannot work outside campus. You're an international student, you cannot work more than 20 hours a week, and we rely on parents. So that was really tough. I had to make a lot of sacrifices, go to school, be a husband, be a father. Uh, but, you know, looking back, 10 years ago from where I am right now, I think I'm going somewhere, and some of the mistakes that I think I've made was maybe not get information. So information is a key, to move faster. It can help you save, 2 3 years. You can be real fast. But because usually I realize that Africans, in our culture, we don't want to talk about our problems. We usually just want to confine and try to fix it ourselves. But in America, I realized that, people are free. You can find an American, on the line at McDonald's, and he start talking to you about his life. Oh, my daughter is on drugs or whatever. He would talk to you about his life, and you are surprised, like, I cannot, in Africa, I cannot open up like that. He doesn't know me and stuff. So it's good to talk. if you don't see people that have the right information, go look for other people. I know there's rejection sometimes. People don't open up. They don't tell you things. You can go somewhere else and you'll find the information, and then you're gonna move forward.
Yep. Thank you so very much on that. I just want to remind the viewers that are just joining us right now that we're having a conversation on the challenges that different families have encountered while moving into the US. To just kind of pick up on so the panel, we're having a discussion. I don't want you guys to feel like I'm doing the interviews or anything like that. So Linda, if I can ask you these questions, having run into what you have run into, what would you say you would have done differently as you were preparing to move into the US? And let me know if you need me to translate that. OK, je vais reposer ma question en français pour Linda. J'aimerais savoir, sachant tout ce que tu sais sur comment est-ce que tu es arrivé à parvenir jusque maintenant là, qu'est-ce que tu dirais que tu allais faire différemment, peut-être pour t'aider à mieux t'intégrer aux États-Unis?
D'abord, l'information. C'est l'une des choses qui fait que beaucoup de personnes ne vivent pas bien leur intégration aux États-Unis.
Okay, I believe the getting more information will have helped many people live better in the US.
Beaucoup sont mal informés.
Many people are not well informed.
Moi, parmi les défis, les grands défis que j'ai rencontrés,
among some of the big challenges that I had to encounter
c'est les logements.
was where to stay. Thank you.
Donc, peut-être même ceux qui me suivent, qui sont encore en Afrique et tout, en Europe, en Asie, qui aimeraient venir aux États-Unis, surtout ceux de l'Afrique.
And for those that are watching me in Africa, in Europe, and especially those in Africa,
ils doivent être préparés.
They have to be ready. You have to be ready.
De vivre une vie de nomade.
You have to be ready to live a life of challenges as far as where to stay.
Donc, soyez préparés. Un jour, vous serez chez tel, demain, vous serez chez un autre.
Be ready. Chances are one day you'll be to X person and tomorrow you find yourself in a different home.
Même si vous avez la famille ici,
even though you might have families here,
soyez préparés que les choses ne se passent peut-être pas comme il faut avec la famille.
Be ready that things might not go as you had hoped as far as the family
avec
goes.
les amis,
with friends.
Parce que les choses sont différentes ici.
Because things are a little different here.
Et beaucoup de gens changent.
And people changes.
Vous devrez être préparés à ça.
And you have to be ready for that.
Vous devrez aussi être préparés.
And you also need to be ready for
que le coût du dollar en Afrique n'est pas pareil qu'aux États-Unis.
You'll also have to be ready on the fact that the amount of dollar does not equate to what it's worth in the US.
En Afrique, tu gagnes $1000 le mois.
In Africa, you are earning $1,000 a month.
Ça te suffit largement pour t'en sortir.
And it can do you very well for a very long time.
Mais ici, les $1000 du mois que je gagnais au Congo,
But here, for the $1,000 I was earning in the Congo,
ça représentait absolument rien.
It's representing absolutely nothing.
Pour avoir un logement pour un mois,
for you to have a place to stay for a month,
il me faut $1000.
I will probably need about that much, $1,000.
Déplacement.
To be able to go around,
manger,
to eat.
Donc $1000 c'est rien.
$1,000 might not be sufficient.
Donc vous devrez être préparé à ça.
So you have to be ready for that.
Vous devrez être préparé de partager un loyer avec quelqu'un.
You have to be ready to split rent with somebody else.
Ou bien être sous-logé dans la maison de quelqu'un et payer la chambre.
Or being able to rent a room at a friend's or somebody that you know.
Mais vous devez être préparé.
So you have to be ready for
à supporter les humeurs de la personne.
To be able to support the other person's the mood swings. Thank you.
Parce que même si vous payez la chambre,
even if though you might be paying your rent for the room,
vous êtes chez la personne.
You are not at your home. You are living at someone else's home.
Je pense que psychologiquement,
so psychologically speaking,
on doit être préparé à toutes ces choses.
So we have to be ready for all those.
C'est lorsqu'on n'est pas préparé à ces choses.
It's when you are not ready for those.
On quitte notre confort en Afrique.
We leave our comfort zone in Africa.
Parce qu'il faut le dire, ce n'est pas tout le monde qui mène une vie de souffrance en Afrique.
So we have to just say it's not everyone who's suffering in Africa.
Certains viennent de bonnes familles.
And some people are coming from very well-off families.
Il leur manque pas un loyer.
They are not missing rent.
Manger.
They're not missing food.
Voiture.
They don't miss transportation.
Ils vivent dans des bonnes conditions.
They're living in the best conditions.
Mais ils sont contraints de tout laisser pour venir aux États-Unis
But they are leaving all that to come into the
et
US
affronter l'inconnu.
and to face the unknown.
Et c'est pas facile
And it's not easy
si psychologiquement vous n'êtes pas préparé à ce qui
if
vous attend.
psychologically you are not ready to meet those challenges.
Moi, je n'étais pas préparée du tout.
I was not ready at all.
Parce que j'ai été à un moment en Afrique du Sud.
For a time, I was in South Africa.
C'est un pays africain très développé.
It's an African country, but it's well developed.
Donc, moi, je suis venue avec l'idée de l'Afrique du Sud ici.
And I came here with the mindset of South Africa here.
Là-bas, je sortais combien pour le loyer? C'était $300.
And I was spending roughly around $300 for my rent.
L'électricité, je paye $50.
And electricity about 50.
Et là-bas, on utilise l'électricité comme tu veux.
And there you use as much electricity as you want and need.
C'est pas comme le système des États-Unis. Il faut vraiment tout gérer, éteindre la lumière, faire ceci.
It's not like here in the US where you are being conservative and turning off lights here and there.
Il faut préparer le week-end pour toute la semaine. Et
You
tout.
have to cook for the week once a day.
Et moi, je suis venue avec ça.
And I came here with that mindset.
Là-bas, les Uber, c'est rien.
And the Uber is a means of transportation almost everywhere.
Donc, mes vacances là-bas avec $500, non seulement je me prenais en charge, je prenais en charge aussi mes amis.
So going out there with $500 as your vacation money, you will not only take care of yourself, but also those of your friends.
Parce que $100, c'est 1200 rand.
Because $100, it's about 1,200 grand.
Yeah, donc, vous multipliez 1200 fois 5.
And you multiply that times 5.
Vous êtes au top.
You are up there.
Vous êtes le boss pendant un mois. En
So
fait.
you are a boss for a good 1 month.
Donc, j'étais venue avec cette mentalité, cet esprit de l'Afrique du Sud.
So that was my mindset coming up here. I was thinking about South Africa.
Où la nourriture représentait rien du tout.
Well, food is available.
Mais j'étais pas du tout préparée.
But I wasn't prepared.
Parce que j'étais même pas venue pour rester longtemps.
Because I didn't even come here to stay for that long.
J'étais venue pour organiser un événement.
I came here to just kind of support an event.
Qui a réussi grâce à Dieu.
Which went well, thanks to God.
Donc, c'est là que je suis descendue sur mon pied d'échelon, en fait.
That was when the reality hit.
Je suis rentrée une personne ordinaire.
And I just went back to being an ordinary individual.
Je n'étais plus l'organisatrice de l'événement.
And I was no longer the boss for the event.
Je n'étais plus l'artiste connu du Congo.
And I was no longer the artist that everybody knew in the Congo.
Je n'étais plus l'écrivaine connue du Congo.
And I was no longer the writer that people knew in Congo.
L'entrepreneur connu.
The businesswoman that people knew.
Si j'étais l'incognito.
And I was just nobody here
Pour
at all.
certaines personnes.
And to so many people.
Donc c'est là que j'ai commencé à vivre les réalités.
That's when I started living the reality.
Du logement, comment ça se passe, les humeurs des gens.
On where to live and the challenges of where to live here
Donc,
in the
c'était des
US.
moments très difficiles pour moi.
And those were some of the most difficult moments for me.
Parce que comme je le dis, les gens changent ici, même la famille change.
Just like I say, people change here, even
Donc, vous qui
families.
êtes en Afrique, vous vouliez venir, heureusement je parle français, vous pouvez
So
venir.
to those who are in Africa and want to come here in the US,
Donc préparez-vous psychologiquement à tout ce que je suis en train de dire.
be prepared for what I'm telling you psychologically.
Parce que plusieurs tombent dans la dépression à cause de la mauvaise préparation.
Because many people falls into depression because of lack of preparation.
Et certaines finissent au suicide.
And unfortunately, to some people, it takes them to suicidal thoughts.
Et je ne raconte pas des histoires.
And I'm not just telling stories.
Ce sont des choses qui se passent même dans la communauté.
These are realities that are happening even in the Congolese community.
Il y a des cas de suicide,
There are cases of people taking off their own
de
lives,
arrêt cardiaque dû à la dépression.
heart attack due to depression.
Donc beaucoup de personnes ont ça, même dans la communauté congolaise, mais ils ignorent qu'ils ont la dépression.
Many people have this depression even in our own community, but they're simply ignoring the fact.
Donc les symptômes, il y a les maux de tête,
There are symptoms, headaches,
crise de colère.
anger.
En fait, vous n'arrivez plus à gérer vos émotions.
You are not able to just kind of hold your emotions together.
Joie, pleurs, tristesse, angoisse.
Mood swing, laughter, crying, all that,
Donc tout se mélange en fait.
all those mixture of feelings.
Et ça crée des maladies psychosomatiques.
and it's creating diseases, sicknesses,
Il y a l'AVC,
what's that in English? Strokes. Thank you.
la tension,
Blood pressure,
diabète,
diabetes,
des problèmes des cycles irréguliers des règles,
problem with irregular cycles. Thank you.
stérilité.
Unable to make children.
Donc, vous ne pouvez pas vous imaginer tout ce que la dépression peut créer dans votre corps.
You may not be able to fully understand what depression can do to your overall body.
Vous allez aller de médecin en médecin.
You will go from doctor to doctors.
Pourtant, le problème, c'est d'abord se guérir soi-même.
And sometimes the problem might be inner healing.
Et c'est créé à cause de plusieurs frustrations que vous avez gardées dans votre cœur.
And these are created through so many frustrations that you have hang on to into your hearts for so long.
Donc, la clé, c'est se pardonner et pardonner aux autres.
Like what?
Se pardonner, la clé de la guérison.
Oh, the key is for you to heal yourself, to forgive yourself and forgive others.
C'est se pardonner.
It's to forgive yourself.
Parce qu'on se sent des fois responsable de tout ce qui nous est
And
arrivé.
sometimes we feel we are just responsible for everything that's happening to
Une personne
us.
dépressive passe un grand moment de sa vie dans la culpabilité,
Someone who's depressed spend a lot of time in regret,
dans l'animosité,
into anger,
amertume.
into animosity.
Yeah, ce sont des émotions créées par le manque de pardon de soi.
These are emotions that are built up by the lack of being able to forgive yourself.
Parce que vous vous sentez responsable d'être ici aux États-Unis.
Because you are feeling responsible for being here in the US.
À un moment, ça va vous passer dans la tête, pourquoi je ne suis pas restée en Afrique?
At some point, it's going to come to you, why didn't I just stay in Africa?
Mais non, pardonnez-vous.
You have to be able to forgive yourself.
Vous êtes au bon endroit.
You are at the right place.
Vous devez juste remporter les épreuves. Ce sont des épreuves.
You just have to just go through these moments of difficult time.
Moi, j'appelle ça les épreuves de l'intégration.
And I call these challenges of
Et
integration.
ça arrive à n'importe qui.
And it happens to anybody.
Alors, ne vous sentez pas responsable par ce que vous vivez.
So do not carry the weight of responsibility for what you are currently living.
L'autre clé, c'est pardonner aux autres.
And the other key is to forgive others.
Parce que beaucoup se sont retrouvés entre des mauvaises mains,
Because many people came into the wrong
des
hands
personnes aigries.
by people who are just not well off, full of jealousy.
Parce qu'il y a beaucoup de personnes qui sont passées par des moments difficiles quand ils sont venus aux États-Unis.
Because there are so many people that went through a hard time when they moved here in the US.
Et ils aimeraient aussi que vous passiez par
And
ça.
they would like for other people to also take the same route.
Alors quand ils voient que vous en sortez,
So when they see that you are well off,
ils deviennent jaloux.
they are becoming
Ils
jealous.
vont vouloir vous enfoncer,
And they would like for you to sink.
vous détruire.
They would like to destroy you.
Vous devrez pardonner à ces
So
gens.
you have to be able to forgive
Si
those
vous
as
avez eu
well.
à subir ces choses,
And if you are one of those that had to go through that,
vous devrez juste comprendre
you just have to know
que les gens changent.
that people changes.
Vous faites le choix de changer dans le bien.
You then have to make the choice to change for the better.
Mais eux, ils ont juste fait le choix de choisir dans le mal.
It's unfortunate, but they have chosen to just change for the
Ils ont
worse.
choisi le mal
They have chosen the bad
parce qu'ils ont eu aussi tous ces sentiments d'animosité. Ils ont
because
eu
they
aussi à
have gone
souffrir.
through these steps of things that we have highlighted.
Mais vous avez le choix.
But you have the choice.
Soit vous prenez le bon chemin,
It's either you take the
soit vous
better
prenez le mauvais
route
chemin.
or you take the
En
worse
voulant
route
vous venger parce que vous aussi, vous avez été
by wanting to
persécuté.
do vengeance because of what they have went through.
Vous devrez pardonner aux autres.
So you have to be able to forgive to others. So Linda, I'm sorry. I'm just gonna have to kind of keep the conversation moving. I wanted to ask you a question. From your own perspective and experiences since you've been in the US, what would you say you would have done differently as far as preparing yourself for a better experience as far as immigration goes?
I would have find better people to mingle with. Just like she said, if you go with the wrong people, they would want you to go through what they went through, before you can make it. I had this couple that helped us out, with information and all that, but they were jealous that we were going a lot faster. We were going to school we were educating themselves because they were already just, doing the small jobs that they were doing. They didn't want us to go through the education so they put a lot of obstacles. They created obstacles. Can you drop me here for interview? Oh, I'm not available. Okay, what can I do to get my social? Oh, they, they were not available. So I think the right people, I would have looked for the right people to get information from, and go from there.
Um, this one is for you, Dr. Kathy. One of the challenge that I think many people, I think pretty much everybody kind of touched on that is the challenge of the language. The question that I have, and I come to peers that have this type of question, they wonder, they say, Congo is a big country. We were colonized by a very small country that's French speaking, and we have about 17 million of our 100% of 100 million Congolese living outside of the country. Believe it or not, the majority of those people are actually living in English speaking nation. So this question to you is, do you think the Congolese government and the Congolese family need to seriously take speaking English as an option for a second language into the home while still in Congo?
While still in Congo? Yeah, I mean, I think any type of language, any additional type of language is always an advantage. If you're in the United States here and you speak Spanish or you speak French, they will pay you more. I'm working HR, human resources. So individuals that come in and they speak Spanish and speak French, they always pay them a little bit more. So preparing your kids ahead of time and teaching them an extra language, I think is an advantage. And that goes to answer the question that you were saying earlier. I think the things that we go through in our lives in the past help us prepare ourselves for the future. Meaning that if I experience a challenge in the past, that would enable me or help me understand that I need to prepare myself for the future. The challenges that my parents had with me at a younger age, those are the things that I take along with me right now, and I prepare myself for my kids. I have four little kids, four little boys. And for me, what I do is whatever they were not able to do, I try to plan for that ahead of time to prepare for my boys. So those that are back home and they want to teach their kids English, I think it's a great idea. If you're dreaming of your kids in the future to go to a university, if you want them to get a better education, if you're thinking about them, having the capacity to integrate and adapt anywhere in the world, I mean, English is the number one speaking language that's universal everywhere. So if you go to France and you go to school in France, they're teaching their kids how to speak English. And I'm 100% sure in Congo that people take English classes because someone told me they used to skip their English class. All right. So I'm 100% sure. I think it was my pastor, if I'm not mistaken, but I'm not going to talk about him. But they skip their English class. And what they do is they teach you an extra language because A, it increases your vocabulary, giving you a higher understanding when it comes to reading. But then B, it teaches you how to adapt to another environment. So when you come to a country like this, you may not be able to have a long conversation, but you can understand, hey, get out the way. You understand things like that. So I think them learning a different language in Congo is an advantage, and it is going to pay off one day if they're dreaming of their kids going further than where they are.
To add to that, I think they're already starting right now to incorporate English in primary school, or is it before primary school? What is it? Is it
Kindergarten?
kindergarten? Yeah, because I saw two graduation today actually, where small kids were actually naming, stuff like rulers, colors, and stuff, and the parents were real proud on the graduation and filming, in Congo. So I think they are understanding that English is very important, and they are actually doing that. But as far as the government making it legal that we should learn English, yeah, I think we should. They should. Yeah.
You want to pick on that?
I used to speak my English class back home.
English for Africa.
So I can relate. I'll probably say that if you planning on moving anywhere, just like doctor say, it's important to know the language because I believe that that will take you from where you are to be comfortable, to be able to actually function. Because if you don't know the language, it's gonna be more of like a pressure on you And I will encourage, if that's like something that the government start doing, I'll definitely encourage that they like innovate that more and start at a really young age. And I'm sure there's people who will have a dream to come here, they will be more prepared. But I will probably also want to touch a little bit of what Linda said. Our community here, because of the lack of information that we don't have, that's also bring jealousy. And the way now we are doing this, it's for people to only know that from this you will have the information, and if you go through the same thing that she went through, it will be better for somebody else to benefit from this. So I will definitely encourage this kind of events throughout the Congolese community, and also even the African community. And what my brother he said something like, when we are here, we don't really talk about our problem. And I think it's also like something that we should do better. Like if I now doing well, I have to, it's okay to tell somebody, hey, I'm going through this. How did you overcome this challenge? And asking questions is also really, really important. Like if you don't know, you don't know. But I believe that there's somebody who know the information that you need for you to do better.
Can I go back to you, Dr. Kathy?
Yeah, sure.
There is someone watching us in Congo right now who probably have won a Deve lottery. They do not have anyone that they know of in their family member that lives in the US, and they're gonna land in Dallas sometime next week. What should be the very first step for that person as soon as they land here?
Good. That's a really good question. I think what he was saying, I'm gonna piggyback on what he said. He said it's about getting information, but it's very difficult to get information if you don't know who to go to. And a lot of people here in America, what they have done is they've organized resources, places that you can go to and say, I need information on how to get a degree, or I need an information of how to fix my immigration situation, or I need help figuring out how I can, better my English or whatever. They have so many resources when it comes to investment, preparing your future. I mean, there's so many things and resources that people have here, but the thing is, people don't know where to go to. Now, your question was referring to the people back home, so I have to stick with the people back home. First of all, when you come here, you have no choice. You have to be honest. You have no choice, because whenever you land here, you can't pick and choose whose house you're going to live at. It just doesn't work like that. You're going to be living in someone's house that you don't know. You're going to have to adapt to those people, like she just said. If you're lucky, you land in a good household where people help you out and they help you, get to whatever path you want to get to. And they're not too jealous, like he said. They'll push you a little bit further. But here we're talking about people who you don't know, landing in a new environment. It could work or not work. But one of the most effective things to do is when you get here is to attach yourself, and I say this, to a support system, a church, or a community. Why am I saying that? That's the only way you get information. First of all, you have a language barrier. You won't speak to anyone who speaks English. So if you come in here thinking an American person will come knock on your door and say, hello, my name is John Smith. Can I help you? No, no one's going to help you. So you're going to have to come to this environment and just adapt to your environment. But most importantly, if you want to get the information that you need, you got to connect yourself. You got to connect yourself to the community. You got to connect yourself to a good church. And in that particular environment, you pray and hope that you have individuals in that particular environment that's going to help you, get settled, get your social, get you working and employment. Oh my God, transportation. You won't have a car for a long time, but you want to get around people that can kind of help you, adjust and integrate. And if you're lucky enough to land into a new environment, that's a good thing. But that brings me to the last point that he was speaking about. I think it's important for us also to create something where people know that I can go to that place and get the help that I need. Because we can sit here and talk about you need to do this and do that and do that, but there's people that are looking and like, okay, I want that. Well, how do I get to that? So I think it's important for us to also have, and I know other Nigerian communities and Hispanic communities that have that in churches and everywhere, but I think it's also important for us to build a place when someone can say, well, you know what, I need to find a lawyer. I can go to that place. Or I need to go to school and I don't have my papers. I can go to that place. So creating something like that to help those people that are coming here is going to be beneficial.
Yes. So Linda, avec ce qu'elle vient de dire là, she says, you need to make it available. So what I'm suggesting is you have to make this information available online and be known for helping people. You can put all the resources online. Okay, contact me at this, and then you can tell them whatever they need to do.
This is great. I hope everybody is enjoying this time. And what I'll probably say what she said is the environment. It's the big thing that's a lot of people here when they move, they don't know where to go. And I feel like from the our background, we have to also be, I'll probably say, love each other, because I feel like love will fix a lot of things. It will fix people now being jealous. And also, if we want for other people to do better, we have to actually push them to do better. And just like you said, I was talking to him a couple days ago about the connection that we can make other people look at us like, oh, this guy has a company about tax, for instance. This guy knows about how to do immigration paperwork. This guy, now we have to put that information available to everybody. And not only to benefit, but if we love our people to do better, I think that's the best way to put that.
What I would like to add is
c'est bien bon de trouver certaines informations en ligne. C'est vrai, les États-Unis nous permettent de découvrir beaucoup de choses en ligne.
it's good to be able to find all these information online.
Oui, mais certaines choses,
And there are other things, unfortunately.
c'est mieux les gens qui sont passés par ça.
It's better to go through people that have gone through them.
Pour mieux nous expliquer les enjeux des décisions que nous prenons.
To be able to kind of lay down and all the options of things that are being presented to you.
Voilà pourquoi moi j'insiste sur le contact humain.
This is why I would like to just make a little this is why I would like to advise for people to make contact with another individual.
Pourquoi garder ce que vous avez découvert?
Why keep what you have discovered?
Moi, ça m'a pris 2 ans, 3 ans que je fréquente les États-Unis.
It has taken me 3 years that I've been in the US.
J'ai fait 3 voyages.
I've done 3 travel trips
sans rien comprendre du système.
without understanding the system.
Les logements, comment ça se passe.
Where to stay on the hand, how it works.
Je ne savais rien.
I did not know anything.
Parce que je ne venais pas pour m'installer, je venais toujours en vacances et je rentrais.
That's because I wasn't coming here to stay. I was just coming here as if on vacation.
C'est seulement cette année
It's just now
que je me suis vraiment décidée de rester.
that I've decided to just go ahead and stay.
Que j'ai commencé maintenant à découvrir certaines choses.
That I started seeing the reality and discovering different things.
Les loyers, comment ça se passe.
How to pay rent and how renting works.
Les taxes.
Taxes.
Où faire le cours d'anglais.
Where to go for
en fait,
English courses.
Tous ces petits détails-là.
All those little small details.
Des gens qui sont passés par là.
There are people that have gone through those.
Ils sont mieux placés pour nous donner des informations aussi directes. C'est vrai que
they are better aligned to also be able to provide you direct information.
En ligne aussi, on peut beaucoup apprendre.
Yes, you can also learn it online.
Il y a une partie des informations que je sais aujourd'hui.
There are other pieces of information that I now know.
C'est ma sœur qui est ici aux États-Unis il y a 8 ans.
Comes from one of my sisters that's been living in the US here for 8 years now.
C'est elle qui m'a appris.
She's the one that has taught me all this.
Il y a des amis.
There are friends.
Seulement il y a à peine quelques mois.
About a few months ago.
Qui m'ont parlé de certaines choses concernant le système.
That have spoken to me about certain things about the systems.
Mais j'avoue que 60% de ce que je sais aujourd'hui.
And I would like to admit that about 60% of what I know today.
Je me suis informée en ligne.
I learned them from online.
Moi-même, je commence à faire des recherches.
Myself, I went online, started doing search.
À poser des questions qu'il faut sur Google.
To ask questions on Google.
Ça, c'est aussi un grand problème.
This is also another problem.
Vous pouvez avoir Google.
You may have Google.
Mais si vous ne posez pas les bonnes questions pour recevoir vos réponses, vous n'aurez rien.
But if you're not asking the right questions, you might not get the right answers.
C'est ça, moi, je me dis qu'on a besoin d'une orientation.
This is why I think we do need a form of orientation.
Personnes ou des structures spécifiques, au fait.
Whether people or different structures.
Raison pour laquelle on a créé Victorious.
And this is the reason why we've created Victorious.
Raison pour laquelle on a créé Amani Advice.
And this is why we also have created a money advice.
C'est une agence d'intégration
It's an integration agency,
professionnelle,
professional,
académique,
with a school,
et qui commence à partir de l'Afrique.
which has started even in Africa.
On commence à vous donner des informations lucides
So we are providing you critical information
sur tout ce que vous devrez connaître sur les États-Unis.
on what you ought to know
À
about the United
partir de
States.
l'Afrique, quand vous avez vous gagnez votre loterie,
From Africa, as soon as you win your DV lottery,
soit vous venez pour étudier.
or whether you're coming here to study,
Notre agence pour le moment est basée au Congo.
our agency is actually mainly based in
Yeah.
Congo.
Donc on commence à vous donner, à vous préparer, à vous donner même des documents qu'il faut.
And here we will be preparing you to even providing you some documents that you need
En ce qui concerne les États-Unis.
on what you need to know about the
Comme ça,
US.
une fois vous êtes sur place,
So that when you do come in
Vous avez au
here in the US,
une idée au fait
you will have some sort of a little understanding
de la manière dont les choses se passent.
on how things works.
S'il vous plaît, ceux qui
Please,
m'écoutent,
for those that are listening and
même
watching,
si vous venez pour le vacances,
even if you are coming here for vacation,
tourisme,
tourism,
mariage, assister à un mariage et rentrer,
marriage, whether it's wedding or
faites un effort pour apprendre quelque chose sur les États-Unis.
try a little bit to learn a few things about this country,
Parce que la vie a des tournures.
because life changes, as we mentioned.
Vous pouvez être venu pour des vacances,
You,
pour un court séjour.
you may have come here for a small vacation or intended
Vous vous
to,
retrouvez bloqué ici,
and you find yourself shut down
sans aucune bonne information.
without having proper information.
Vous tombez entre les mauvaises mains.
You may end up falling into the wrong
Si vous ne
hands.
finissez pas avec une dépression,
If you do not finish with a depression,
vous allez vous ruiner.
you will ruin yourself. Thank you. Very freeze.
Donc, voilà pourquoi il faut... comme je dis, moi, je venais pour les vacances. Parce que les États-Unis, c'est pas comme Exia dit, moi, c'est pas quelque chose qui était dans ma tête. En fait.
And just like I mentioned here, I was coming here for vacation. Staying was not something that I was thinking of.
Donc, je suis venue malgré moi.
I came just like that.
Donc, je me disais, c'est pas important d'apprendre quoi que ce soit.
And I told myself it wasn't necessary to learn
Dans un
things
pays dans lequel je viens de passage.
in a country that I'm just a passenger.
Mais j'ai trouvé des opportunités d'affaires qui pouvaient me permettre de revenir.
But then I found opportunities that constantly allowed me to come back.
C'est la troisième fois, c'est ça, je suis en train de parler des imprévus de la vie.
This is the third time I've come here, and this is why I'm talking about things unplanned in
Comme on vient
life.
d'habitude, je viens, je rentre.
Just like I used to go and come back,
La Covid m'a bloqué.
and COVID got me locked down.
C'est là que j'ai compris que je me suis battue malgré que la situation n'était pas bien,
And this is when I understood that things were a little bit more
de
challenging
rentrer au Congo.
to go back to Congo.
J'étais prête à tout.
I
S'il
was-
faut sortir $3,000 pour un billet spécial, mais que je rentre au
I
Congo.
was ready to even spend $3,000 if that's what it took for me
Mais
to go back
toutes
to
ces
Congo.
frontières étaient bloquées.
But then again, all the borders were closed.
En cherchant toutes ces solutions, déjà, je n'étais pas bien. C'est là
While
que
trying to seek out all this different solution, I fall into this depression,
j'ai fini par craquer, au fait.
and I end up.
Aujourd'hui, je prends
Giving up.
plaisir d'être là, au fait. Je prends plaisir d'être
Oh,
là
today I'm so glad to be here,
parce que j'ai compris pourquoi Dieu m'a retenu ici.
and then I'm understanding why did God allow me to stay here.
Si je n'étais pas là,
If I wasn't here,
il n'y aurait peut-être pas Victorious.
maybe we will not have Victorious or this conversation.
Il n'y aurait pas Amani Advice.
Then we will not have any mini advice.
Donc, il faut toujours se préparer.
So bottom line is you have to be prepared.
La vie est très imprévisible.
And life is not always planned.
Et vous ne savez pas ce qui vous attend demain.
And you do not know what's awaits you tomorrow.
Informez-vous
Being well informed
et allez vers les bonnes personnes,
and
j'insiste,
go to the good people
pour vous donner la bonne information.
to get the right information.
Yeah, je pense que
Yeah.
je vais m'arrêter là, mais je vais encore parler. juste après.
Absolutely. Anybody want to bring up any subject that stand out as far as immigration goes?
For me, I came as an international student, like I mentioned earlier, and I know the process of to get the paperwork from school, even without school, And it's something I'm also willing to share to anybody who wants to. You want to work without paper? There's a way to do that. Just like I said, there is information. If you go to the right people, just like she said, you will get the right information and make you develop yourself. And as far as immigration, I've played lottery for DV lottery for a lot of people, and some people also at home. That's why I was saying, like when we share those information, we have to share those information with love. Some people at home, you hear, you have a computer, by you making other people pay you a lot of money just to pay to play the DV lottery when it's just for free. So that's why I said, when you share the information that you have to love your people that you're sharing that information. So that's what I would say about immigration. And to add to that, uh, if you want to also go to like process from international student, changing your status to green card or permanent resident, or even get a US visa, there is tons of information. And I know a lot about it because I went through the whole thing, and I'm willing to share that for free. That's how I would say that.
Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Anybody has an experience that's related to immigration that we have yet to touch on that you would like to just speak about freely?
Yeah. Hello. Yeah. So there's a lot of ways to adjust the status from, when you come here as a visitor, student. I'll talk about my experience. My wife and I came as students, and we finished school. And after school, we started working. And then the company that I was working with sponsored me to adjust to a green card, and that's how we became, permanent resident. Yes, green card holders. So there's a lot of ways, like he was international student. I think you married an American, and asylum. You can, after asylum, after a year, you can become a green card holder. Or if you win the TV lottery, automatically you have a green card. But when you come here in the US, there's integration now, integration. That's what we're talking about. And when I Googled integration, to integrate, and Google tells me to integrate is to combine with another thing to become one, you know. So usually us as immigrants, it's difficult to combine ourselves to the American system and to become one. That's what the goal is all about, is to achieve the American dream, to become, Americanized, because you can be here as a green card holder, but you're not fitting it. So that's what we are trying uh, to educate people, in order to mingle themselves and become Americanized completely, from the status, from the job that you want. Not everybody has to be uh, a governor or a doctor, but if you're happy with what you have, and you have a community, and that's what is all about, becoming integrated. You are accepted, you feel like this is home. Not you are here, but you want to be back in Congo or whatever. That's meaning you're not integrated fully. Yep.
If I can also kind of share this experience with you guys, if I can also kind of share this experience with you guys, one of the thing that I have noticed that many people have gone through is in Congo, we have a certain mindset on how we approach things, on how we interact with things. People are not really freely open. They are afraid that they will be judged. They've been in America for so long. I'm always shocked. I'll run into some guy that's like, hey, I'm from Congo. And then, how long you been here? 10 years. And they cannot put a 2-second sentence in English. And I don't think it's, once you get to know those people, it's just kind of like they are afraid to interact with people. They're afraid to mingle with people. But information that you do not ask is information that's not provided to you. It used to happen to me all the time. I will go to like, well, I did not know this. And then they will answer to me, they will say, did you ask? One thing I've come to just appreciate about the American culture is while I was afraid as a young man to approach my peers, even though we're in the same soccer team, I was afraid to approach them to ask them simple information. I came to figure out that Americans are more than willing to tell you. So, and I was asking myself, I was like, why is this so? And I came to find out, which is a shocker. Everyone in the U.S. is an immigrant. It might not be them directly. It might be the grandparents. It might be the parents or the real grandparents. That's why they all go do 23s and me to try to figure out where they're really coming from as far as the lineage goes. So unless you feel free to ask information, it's so hard for people to just gonna come to you and be like, hey, George, you're from Congo. This is what you need. You have to be willing to just be loose. Be loose. Sometimes we're afraid. Parce que, if I can say this in Congo, we have this thing that we call complexe d'infériorité. And some people have another one called complexe de supériorité. But if you just understand, you are not my problem. My problem is I'm trying to get information. Just let yourself go. Be open, and what you don't know will suddenly be revealed. So that's just something that I wanted to kind of share with you. Is it okay to also kind of get the crowd, the people engaged? Oh yeah, yeah. Dr. Kathy, you have something to say?
It's on, yes. I was just going to add some information about what he says. I know he was talking about people that come here to go to school and how the process to get the green card could be sponsored through a job. But there's also a program that I've discovered for people who are back home, and I work in HR, and I discovered this. But even the people that are back home, you can also apply for jobs for where you are, and they have companies here that will sponsor you, move you from where you are in Congo, I don't know, whatever country you are, and bring you here in the United States. So there's so many companies, depending on which company you work for, depending on what field you've done, but there's other companies that would hire you even with a high school diploma. So it's about people being misinformed and people not having the right information. So again, there's so many ways for people to adjust, but I think that what she has created is a good opportunity for people to, to get in contact with and understand. And again, if you're in the right environment with the right people that have the right information, you should be able to maneuver your way into life in general. And in terms of culture, you have to understand that our country, we come from a country where people have subcultures. And what I mean by subcultures is that we live in a country with 400 and something languages, sub languages, right? So their mentality is we live by groups of people. And if you've noticed that people are out of Egypt, but they still live in the Egypt mentality, and so they come here, they still live in those subgroups mentality. So it's about people, and I don't really blame them because that's the way they grew up. That's how they see things. I'm part of this group, and that's the way I function. But I think coming to this country, learning how to adapt and fit into the environment kind of helps people step out of their shell to be able to get in contact with other people.
Um, yeah. Do you have a question? Oh, okay. Sorry. I just wanted to see, does anybody has anything that stand out or any challenges that they've gone through as far as immigration goes, and they would just like to share the experience. I'm more than willing to share my seats.
Share your seat.
Oh, you stay from there, but yeah, come on. I give you mine.
Hello, everyone. My name is Joe.
You just give us your name.
Oh, Joe. Diogene D2. For people that knows me well. Well, my experience with the immigration is most also the people that we found here. Um I've known some people for over 10 years. They still speak Lingala. There's no English, so trust me. Whenever you move to America and live with that person, you don't have enough of chances to move up, right? But the other thing is also uh, yourself. People back home still dream about big buildings, Hollywood, whatever they show us on TV, but they don't. My secret is flexibility. I have 5 years in medical school. I spent 5 years in medical school, and when I moved here, I lost my passion. You know, it's not because I'm not smart. It's just because I did not like the system. I did not have anybody to help me. So here, the first thing, whenever you go to hospital, do you have a social? Do you have insurance, right? At the same time, I'm still in pain. I'm suffering. You ask me all those questions. Somebody can die, right? And then the doctors treat you according to whatever you have or whoever you are. But I'm trying to help people as a doctor. So there's some restrictions. I drop off. I drop out of medical school. Right? But then my challenges did not stop me. I use all those challenges to help people. A lot of people that I help now, they have big degrees, and some of them. One of them is in the Grandpapa Chims. He died a few months ago. I help him to register. I help him to take some classes and find even take French as one of the classes just to have an A, you know. So I've helped those people because I did not stop myself because I didn't have anybody to help me. I used the challenge to help other people. I had a chance to work at one of the colleges, TCC, where I register a lot of people. I mentor them. So it's just also about your motivation because some people get here to get settled. That $10 an hour, that $7. I mean, I was here around 750, and then you get a little raise at $8. You know, like I gotta pay $8, so we get settled. You know, but it's also just yourself. I have a friend that moved from Charlotte. Uh, we went to school, medical school together. He's a doctor back home, but whenever he moved here, he didn't know what to do. He had some issue wherever he was living, so he decided to move here. Next year, we'll be a doctor here in America. So it's possible. It's just we don't have to blame people here too. We have to blame ourselves. What do you want to do? Because I cannot force that on you. That's what I can share.
Thank you so much, Joe. Yeah, I want to pick up a little bit on something that he said, flexibility. I think that's something that we really have to be. Hey, once again, in Congo growing up, it's so easy to go to school. You in third grade of what is it, high school? You already kind of select who you're gonna be. And people usually just major like 4 degrees: commercial, math, physique, Latin, philo, and I forgot another one. And then Yoshimi, thank you so much. And then here you are, you consider yourself very smart, very bright. And then you come in America, you go to school, and suddenly they tell you you have to choose a major out of 40,000 majors. I'm like, wait, you mean I can go to the moon? Suddenly you start thinking, you're like, maybe 4 options were not enough. But don't be afraid to make that bold move. Our parents have what they consider to be successful, which is you went to school, you're a medical doctor, you are a nurse, you are a lawyer, you're working in the bank. But when you come here, those are just like everyday job. Anybody can do. You don't need a degree for that. But if you then here, you see the horizon as far as you can see. You're like, oh, maybe I can be a chemist, or maybe I can be a psychologist, or whatever the case might be. Don't be afraid. One thing I've come to realize is that you might select something in which you are the only one. I've spent a lot of time explaining to my parents what is it that I do for a living. They just kind of like, so what are you studying again? To become what again? Grace, what did you say you were studying again? So I just constantly repeating myself. And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. There are always new things. And even some of the stuff that we learn, things change. You grew up doing computer a certain way and there's a new version. It's either you go back to school or you either have to change. You got to go along with the technology. Unless you are flexible, sometimes that adaptation can be very difficult. And you might be dealing with a lawyer, and then the lawyer comes to you, tells you, hey, I'm sorry, I know this is your challenges as far as the law go, as far as your migration document goes, but the law has changed, so we have to take a different route. Unless you are very flexible, you're going to get very frustrated with the process. And that's one thing I wanted to kind of share with our viewers that are watching us online. Be flexible, things tend to change, and they do change. So just do not be stuck up. The information is available to you. And a second point I wanted to make is this. My sister Linda mentioned that sometime as you come into this country, you might fall onto the wrong hand. Not every person will always be a wrong hand. If you are noticing that the person who has welcomed you is not really allowing you to be able to see different venues for you to get document, remember, you are not going to be everybody's best friend. You are not going to be everybody's favorite roommates. Your goal is to get the paper. Your goal is to be integrated. Your goal is perhaps you're trying to bring your family and loved ones here. If you think you are dealing with somebody who is difficult to you, you may be watching me or you may be watching one of the people up here on the platform. We're on Facebook Live. The least you can do if you know me, just say, hey, Grace, you guys were talking about immigration. This is my problem. I might not be that lawyer you're looking for, but I might be a different phone number to provide you. But I might be that voice to kind of, hey, you know what? I know somebody that can help you. And there's always somebody who's going to steer you toward the answer you are looking for. And I just wanted to kind of share that with the panel. Linda, Victorious, I think one of the points that you, un point sur lequel dont tu as parlé, c'était la dépression. Me, to be honest with you, I'm from Congo. Anybody familiar with the word depression in Congo? Ça ne m'est jamais arrivé de voir quelqu'un dépressif. Et si c'est le cas, peut-être on était sous dépression, je ne savais pas. J'aimerais que tu parles un peu sur ce point, la dépression. Surtout en ce moment, on voit à la télévision, all the actors have depression, all the athletes have depression, even a truck driver has a depression. So tu peux un peu nous parler sur ce point-là de la dépression. Qu'est-ce que moi, personnellement, je ne comprends pas sur ça, et qu'est-ce que tu peux, qu'est-ce qu'on peut faire? Si c'est quelque chose qu'on ne connaît pas, on aimerait en savoir plus.
D'abord, comme je disais l'information, moi non plus, je ne savais pas.
As I was saying earlier, I did not know what depression was.
Comme beaucoup de personnes ont ça,
I came to find out that many people have it,
ils ne savent pas.
but they do not know.
Certains, ils attribuent ça au stress,
And many people attribute it to stress,
aux migraines.
migraines.
Pourtant, c'est la dépression.
Oh, it's very well depression.
Moi, je l'ai su comment?
How did I know about it?
Parce que je fais beaucoup de recherches, moi.
Because I do a lot of research.
Yeah, j'avais déjà tous les symptômes.
And I had all the symptoms.
Depuis mon premier voyage aux États-Unis en 2019.
Which dated from my first trip in the US in 2019.
Non, 2018.
In 2018.
Yeah. Donc, je suis rentrée au Congo.
I went back to Congo.
J'avais déjà des symptômes.
I already had the symptom of depression.
Parce que c'est pas facile tout ce que j'ai vécu, au fait.
Because it wasn't easy for everything that I've gone through.
Donc, je suis rentrée au Congo.
So I went back to Congo.
La chose que j'avais remarquée,
And what I noticed,
je pleurais tout le temps.
I was crying all the time.
J'avais la dépression souriante.
I had a laughing depression.
Quand je sors en public,
When I go out in public,
je ris, je m'éclate.
I'm smiling and laughing
Il suffit que j'ouvre la porte de ma chambre.
And it will only take a few minutes until I walk into my
Je
room.
m'engloutis dans les larmes.
And then I will be crying again.
Et je pleurais.
And I will seriously cry.
En fait, j'arrivais pas à digérer tout ce que j'ai vécu.
And I was not able to take in everything that I was living.
Et je pouvais pleurer jusqu'à vouloir mourir.
And I will cry until to the point where I feel like I just want to die.
Et j'ai fait ça pendant un mois.
And I did that for a whole month.
Personne ne savait ce que je vivais dans ma chambre.
No one knew what is it that I was living in my room.
Parce que sur les photos, j'ai rié.
Because on the picture, I was laughing.
Avec les amis, je parlais, je
With
bavardais.
friends, I was laughing and talking.
Mais j'étais seule dans ma chambre.
But then I would be alone in my room.
Je ne savais pas ce que j'avais.
I did not know what I had.
Comment demander de l'aide si vous ne comprenez pas ce qui vous arrive?
How do you ask for help when you don't understand what's happening to you?
On commence à être guéri de la dépression
We started healing
le jour où on découvre qu'on est malade.
when we discovered that we are sick.
Donc, c'est un mois après,
It's about a month later
je me suis dit, je veux me plonger à fond dans le travail
that I told myself that I will dig deep into hard work
pour ne plus trop réfléchir.
so that I will not be spending much time thinking.
Donc, j'ai bossé comme une malade au Congo.
Then I started working extremely hard
Ceux
in
qui
Congo.
savent, ils peuvent témoigner sans repos.
For those that knows, can testify without rest.
Mais certains de mes amis avaient remarqué que quelque chose en moi n'allait pas.
But some of my friends did notice something was wrong with me.
Vous allez perdre vos capacités.
You will lose some of your capacities.
Donc, si votre niveau intellectuel était à 90%,
So if your intellectual level was at about 90% or so,
il va commencer à être réduit.
it will slowly start dropping.
Et j'étais descendue, par exemple, à 60.
And I felt like I went down all the way to like 60%.
Et ceux qui me connaissent,
And for those that know me,
connaissaient mes performances d'avant,
I have known my past performances.
ils ont commencé à... Au fait, les gens, tu deviens une proie pour les gens.
You become a prey for many people
Quand ils remarquent cette faiblesse, au fait.
when they notice that certain weakness in
Mais
you.
toi-même, tu ne sais pas ce que tu as.
But you may not know what you have in you.
Beaucoup commençaient à vouloir me diminuer
And many people start talking me down
parce que j'avais plus les mêmes potentiels qu'avant.
because I didn't have the same level of potential that I did before.
Voilà. Vous allez commencer à avoir des lacunes intellectuelles,
You will start noticing a lack of intellectualism, if I may say so.
des trous de mémoire,
Loss of memory,
des pertes des sommeils aussi,
lack of
insomnie,
sleep,
des maux de tête.
headaches.
Vous allez développer une pathologie de la peur.
You will develop a sense of fear.
Vous avez peur de tout et de rien.
You have fear for everything and nothing.
Vous avez peur qu'on vous trahisse.
You are afraid that you might be betrayed.
Vous avez peur qu'on vous fasse du mal.
You are afraid that they will do you wrong.
Au fait, ce sont des symptômes que vous pouvez découvrir en vous, mais vous
These are
comprenez pas.
symptoms that might exist in you,
Et j'avais tous ces
and I
symptômes.
had them,
Et ça se manifeste au jour, au fait.
and they are manifested on a daily basis.
Si vous vous retrouvez confronté à une situation
When you are feeling confronted by a certain
que vous avez
situation
vécue à l'époque,
that you lived many years ago,
que la dépression a été déclenchée.
that's when you know that depression had started.
Yeah. Donc, c'est quand je suis revenue la deuxième fois,
Now it's when I came here for the second time.
c'est là que je suis passée à une autre phase,
That's when I went to a second
des
phase
insomnies.
of lack of sleep.
Je prenais 2 semaines, je n'arrive pas à dormir.
I will lay down in bed for about 2 weeks with not being able to
Je ne
sleep.
comprenais pas, mais qu'est-ce que j'ai, ça m'est jamais arrivé.
And I will understand what's going on. This never happened to me.
Si vous passez par là,
And when you're going through
ce
this,
sont des déclencheurs.
these are signs.
N'ayez pas honte.
Don't be afraid. Don't be shy.
C'est une situation normale qui peut arriver à n'importe
It's
qui.
a normal situation which can happen to anybody.
Yeah. C'est là que, au fur et à mesure, ça n'allait toujours pas.
And it's when I noticed that things were not changing for the better.
Bon, moi, j'ai eu la grâce.
And I had the grace,
Je ne sais pas comment vous le dire.
not knowing how to say it, but
J'entendais une voix me dire que tu as la dépression.
I felt like I was hearing a voice telling me that I am depressed. I have
Mais
depression.
Je m'en foutais, je pensais c'est n'importe quoi.
And I was like, what is this?
Surtout que je ne savais même pas c'est quoi la dépression.
Then I didn't even know what depression
Ah,
was.
je me suis dit sûrement c'est un stress au fait, ça va
And
passer.
then I just labeled it as stress.
Les mois sont passés, ça
And
n'allait
as
pas.
months went by,
J'ai dit bon, je vais essayer un peu de faire des recherches sur Google.
then I told myself to do further research on
C'est
Google.
quand je suis allée sur Google,
And it's when I started doing all this
j'ai vu
research,
les symptômes.
saw all the
Je me suis
symptoms,
dit mais c'est une maladie?
then I was like, okay, well, this is a disease or
existe.
sickness that exists.
Ah ça? Et c'est comme ça que j'ai commencé à chercher, mais comment faire pour s'en sortir?
Then I started doing research, then how do I get out of it?
Il y a 3 phases.
And there are 3
Il
phases.
y a la phase 1,
There's phase 1,
2,
2,
3.
and 3.
Phase 1, c'est les débuts,
Phase 1 is just the beginning
avec des symptômes assez légers, comme le mien.
with light symptoms.
Vous n'avez pas besoin d'un psychologue, c'est vrai.
You
En
might
phase
not need
1,
a psychologist to take a look at you,
vous n'avez pas aussi besoin des antidépresseurs. en
and you
phase
might not
1.
even need antidepressant.
Mais en phase 2, phase 3,
And on phase 2 and phase
vous en
3,
aurez besoin pour
you
être
will
vraiment
need
guéri.
them to be healed.
Moi, j'ai eu la grâce
And I had the
d'être
grace
d'être informée avant.
to be well informed at the very beginning, at the early stage.
Une chenille pour devenir un papillon.
A caterpillar to become a butterfly
S'enferme
has to close himself
Parce qu'il y a un moment de métamorphose.
because there is a time or a phase of metamorphosis,
C'est parmi les phases de guérison.
and these are the phases of healing.
Vous renfermez, vous séparez de tout le monde.
You just have to shut yourself down from everybody.
Vous retrouvez avec des personnes en qui vous avez confiance,
Find people that you trust,
avec qui vous vous sentez à l'aise.
the people that you are comfortable,
Parce que cette période-là, vous avez peur de tout le monde.
because during that time you're
Vous
afraid
n'avez
of
plus
everybody.
confiance au fait.
You don't trust everybody.
Donc, soyez avec des personnes avec qui vous vous sentez en sécurité
Be with people that you feel insecurity or insecure,
et commencez à travailler sur vous.
and start working on yourself,
Parce que vous avez perdu l'estime de soi,
because you have lost self-esteem,
la confiance en soi
the trust in yourself,
et la confiance aux autres.
and the trust in others.
Donc, c'est un travail de développement personnel qui doit être fait.
So it's a work of self-development that need to take place.
Excusez-moi de le dire, je ne détruis pas le travail des psychologues,
Sorry for saying this. I'm not trying to destroy psychologists' work.
mais ce sont des moments où vous avez besoin de vous.
And these are times that you just need
Vous
yourself.
avez besoin de vous retrouver,
You need to find yourself,
de retravailler votre personnalité.
to rework your persona.
Ça prend le temps que ça peut prendre.
It might take a long time.
Les personnes de confiance qui sont là,
And the people of trust around you,
à qui vous pouvez expliquer la situation que
to
vous
whom
avez,
you may explain the situation that you're going through.
faites-leur lire c'est quoi la dépression. Ils doivent s'informer
Let
aussi
them know what depression is and what you know about it.
et savoir comment faire pour vous aider.
And they might know how to help you,
Parce que vous aurez besoin de beaucoup de soutien de ces
because you will
personnes,
need a lot of help.
de leur chaleur humaine,
You will need the heat, body heat,
parce qu'il se peut que vous fassiez souvent de rechutes.
because chances are you will have some
Et
lows.
quand je parle des rechutes, c'est vous maîtrisez plus vos émotions. En fait.
And when I'm talking about lows, it's when you are no longer in control of your
Yeah,
emotions,
il suffit que quelque chose t'affecte
and it's just that a matter of something hitting you,
et tu te mets en contact avec quelqu'un qui a eu à t'offenser terriblement dans le passé.
and you get in touch with somebody who brings you back into your old memories,
Vous lâchez.
and then you just let it go.
S'il faut se crier sur lui, dire des choses méchantes, vous le faites.
Chances are you will yell and scream at that person, but you just know you can't hold
Des
it.
choses que vous n'étiez pas en mesure de faire dans le
Things
passé.
that we were not able to do in the past,
Parce que vous ne gérez plus vos émotions.
because you are not able to restrain your
Et j'ai rencontré
emotions.
beaucoup de personnes comme ça ici aux États-Unis.
And I have
Les
met a lot of
Africains.
people like that here in America.
C'est quand je me suis en sortie,
And it's when I came out of it.
c'est vrai, il a fallu aussi la prière, beaucoup de prières.
Yes, during that phase, there was also a lot of prayers.
C'est quand j'ai commencé à découvrir les gens autour de moi qui avaient aussi la dépression.
That's when I started looking people around me who were depressed.
Des malades inconnus,
So they had sickness that they could never
mais
name,
qui avaient tous les symptômes.
but they had all the symptoms.
J'ai dit, mais comment les gens ne savent pas ça?
So then I started asking myself, how come many people do not know this?
Hier, je pouvais en vouloir cette personne pour son attitude envers moi.
Yesterday, I could have been upset about this person's attitude toward me,
Mais elle est juste dépressive.
but then I looked at him again with second time, then I noticed that he's just depressed.
Ils ont besoin de savoir c'est quoi la dépression
They need to know what depressions
et
are
comment se soigner.
and how to heal yourself.
Voilà pourquoi j'en parle.
This is why I am speaking about it.
Donc, si vous voulez savoir un peu plus sur ça,
So if you need to know a little bit more about it,
vous pouvez nous suivre sur les réseaux sociaux,
you can follow us on some of our social media
sur
platforms,
LinkedIn,
on LinkedIn,
Facebook,
Facebook,
Instagram.
Instagram,
Et on va en parler un peu plus.
and we can go a little bit more in detail there.
Et j'ai un livre aussi que je lance.
And then I also have another book that I'll be releasing.
Donc, c'est avec le livre que je suis en train d'expliquer largement sur la dépression.
And it's within this book that I am going a little bit more in detail about depression.
Donc, le premier chapitre est déjà téléchargé. Les gens ont déjà téléchargé
And the
librement
first chapter, many people already have it already
sur mon
downloaded,
site web
or from my website, www.lindakabongo.com.
www.lindakabombo.com. Yeah. Donc, une fois vous êtes là, vous pouvez avoir le livre en version française.
So when you are onto the link, you can get the book in the French version.
Yeah, on va faire la version anglaise et sortir le livre au mois de décembre ou novembre.
And we will also go ahead and duplicate it in English, and the release might be sometime in December.
Donc, une fois qu'on a toutes les informations, on fait la traduction du livre.
So once the traduction, the translation is completed, we'll let you know.
Donc, vous aurez une idée sur quoi, parce que j'ai tout expliqué, j'ai fait des recherches, j'ai parlé avec des docteurs qui m'ont aussi donné leur point de vue sur ça, leur expérience. Donc, on a mis tout ça dans le livre.
You get a lot of details because I had spent a lot of time speaking with medical professional doctors who have also given me a lot of insights that I put into the book.
Il y a aussi les témoignages de plusieurs personnes qui sont passées
And there
par
are
ça.
also a lot of testimonies from different people
Se
that had gone
retrouve dans
through
le
that,
livre.
that you'll find in the book.
Mon propre témoignage se retrouve dans le livre.
And my own testimonies in the book.
Donc, restez connectés sur nos pages réseaux sociaux.
So please remain connected to our pages on social media
Pour la sortie du livre.
for the release of the book.
Donc, si je peux m'en sortir, vous pouvez aussi.
So if I can come out of it, you can come out of it as well.
N'attendez juste pas arriver à la phase 2 ou 3.
Just do not wait until you go to phase 2 and phase 3.
Donc, si vous avez déjà les symptômes que je vous ai dit,
So if you are here, you already have the symptoms that I mentioned.
ne vous gênez pas à aller sur Google pour vous informer
Do
comment
not
s'en
be
sortir.
afraid to
Et
go
tout,
on Google and look up some information on how to heal.
c'est pas une honte, c'est pas la folie au fait.
You are not crazy. Don't be shy.
C'est juste vous perdez la gérance de vos émotions.
It's just the loss of your mood swing and managing your mood swings.
Parce que vous avez des blessures intérieures.
Because you have internal wounds.
Vous devrez vous soigner dedans.
So you have to heal yourself.
Et ça prend du temps.
And that might take time.
Mais c'est possible d'en sortir.
But it's very possible that you come out of it. Thank you so much, Linda. Dr. Kathy, I have this question for you because you've been here for a very long time, as you mentioned. What can you tell us about what you know about depression and why so many people, including myself, I'm either not well informed about it or I'm ignorant about it? What's your experience with that?
Okay. Why do I think a lot of people are not informed about it? If you're talking about the people here in our communities, I think it's a cultural thing too. And we talked about cultural barriers. We talked about different cultures. I think in some cultures, they've taught us to deal with our situations differently. And they've taught us to ignore certain pains and to find it normal, meaning that if you're facing something and you're going through a difficulty, then that means that you have the capacity to overcome it. You got to be strong enough to kind of overcome it. So I think in terms of the people not knowing about it, I think people just can't relate to it. You know, people don't know about it. It's not something that people really like to openly talk about. I'm not just talking about my community, but in many other communities. Not too long ago at work, we were having it was like an event. People came from all over the world. And one of the people, she was African-American. She said, African-Americans have a hard time even going to, therapists and things like that. Why? Because it's a stereotype for people. They don't want to go to a place where somebody that they don't know is telling them they have a problem. I'm okay with you and then know me telling me I have a problem, but somebody I don't know tell me I have a problem, that's a whole nother thing. So again, it's a cultural thing, number one. And then number two, it's also being about misinformation. Nobody knows about it. Nobody tends to look at it. We think about it as stress. We live in a country where everyone works, everything is 24 hours, 7 days a week. So we think about it as stress, something that goes by. And if things get better, then it is going to get better. I personally tell people this who go through this is it's always to connect yourself to a place or people or something that keeps you going and keeps you motivated. Like she said earlier, there are 3 different phases. And for those that get to phase number 3, they're going to put you on medication and you're going to have to take those medications in order for you to survive. But for those who are lucky enough to get it at phase 1, then you can kind of deal with it differently. So if you go to a professional, a medical professional, they will probably tell you, get into a hobby, get into something that you can connect to people, do something like that. So I always encourage people, first of all, A, to get to know yourself. B, connect yourself into people or things that will keep you motivated every day. Now, I'm a religious person. What keeps me going is church. So me being active at church, even when I was going through hard times, because I've been there, done that, was connecting to people, having relationships with people, doing things to keep me going. And those are the things that kind of uplifted me in hard times. So for people that are not religious people, because everyone all over the world or everywhere is watching this, I would say go ahead and stick to a hobby, get into something that you enjoy doing. And those are the things that would uplift you. Like she gave an example. She would be out with people, and she would smile, but then she would get back in her personal space and she would just fall herself into crying. Why? Because she didn't have anybody that could understand what she was going through. She didn't understand what she was going through. But having someone next to you that understands, A, what you're going through, sees you in a different state, you at least have somebody to express yourself and talk to. And just having somebody to listen to you, that's already a healing process. And also getting yourself involved into things that keep you going. People do their therapy with music, and you might think I'm crazy, but it helps. There's some people, you have a downtime, you put on music, it's like, whoo, I'm in a different world. What am I talking about? You know? So me, I'm a musician, so I'm not gonna sit here in front and say I've never been through a hard time. Oh my God, if I have to sit here and tell you guys my story, you guys will go buck wild. I lost a brother, one of my brother, a long time ago. I went through so much hard difficulties. My parents went through it. Going in school, I had 4 little ones. I was pregnant while I was in school with 4 little kids. But I think what kept me going though was my faith. What kept me going was, knowing that I have something that I love to do. I look forward to going to those Saturday practices and singing because that's what I love to do. I look forward to, I preach at my church and I look forward to those things. And even though I was doing it for other people, it was also my outlet. It was my place of expressing myself, my place of letting go, my place of connecting to different people. And I found people who can relate to my situation, people who can tell me, oh yeah, I've been through that too. Oh child, I understand what you're talking about. So that, that uplifted me as a person. So like I always tell people, find the right environment, whether we're talking about immigration, whether we're talking about you want to get ahead in your career, when you want to talk about, fixing yourself in the inside, when you want to talk about getting yourself out of depression, find a good environment. Surround yourself with people who will not just drink from your cup, people that will pour into your cup. So surround yourself. Yeah. So, child, reach it up here. You know what I'm saying? So it's just your environment. And I try to be a blessing to everybody I come across. So, the people I'm sitting around here, I got to know them for a little bit of time, but I try to, wherever I go, to be a blessing to other people. I make sure that when I walk into an environment, I'm connected to you. I'm able to help you to the best of my ability. And I find joy in that. And knowing that you can help somebody else can also be your healing process. So I don't want to take up too much time.
This was so beautiful. This was so beautiful. So we have not entirely closed just yet. I think the word I'm getting is that we're just taking a little bit of break. But before we can even go into the break, we're going to invite the couple sitting in the front. I see they have a guitar, so I'm sure they can play us some very good music. And if there were some people in here with depression, this can be this can be the start of the healing process for some of us. All right. So thank you so very much. We're just going to take a little break for now.
Jeez. Gloves. Salut, bonsoir à tout le monde. Mon micro est un peu fort. Okay. Yeah, c'est bon, nous allons commencer. Je n'ai pas beaucoup de choses à dire parce que tout a apparemment été dit et ça a été bénéfique. Permettez-moi d'emprunter les mots bibliques. C'était merveilleux, c'était bénéfique. La Bible résout tout. La Bible résout tout. La Bible a la réponse à toutes les questions. Quand on frappe à la porte de Dieu, qui est notre prochain, qui est notre voisin, et il ne manquera pas de pain à nous donner. Parce que nous rappelons d'une histoire de la Bible. Il y a un Messie qui a débarqué la nuit à visiter son ami. Et l'ami en question n'avait pas de quoi donner à son ami qui était venu lui rendre visite. Et il fallait nécessairement qu'il trouve à manger pour lui. Et le Messie est allé frapper à la porte de son autre ami. Et cet autre ami, malgré qu'il était déjà au lit avec sa famille, ses enfants, il n'avait pas de choix. À cause de son ami, il devait quitter le lit, servir son ami. Et Dieu est comme ça, Dieu est notre ami. Quand nous frappons à sa porte, quel que soit le temps, quel que soit le moment, Dieu a la réponse à la question que nous lui apportons. Voilà pourquoi il est écrit que demandez, vous recevez, cherchez, vous trouverez, frappez et on vous ouvrira. Amen. Grande est notre joie. Nous allons chanter. Nous allons chanter en lingala. Ouais, ça va? Ah, ok. C'est ma femme? C'est ma femme. La mère des 4 enfants aussi. Yeah. C'est mon frère Joe. Ils sont parmi les gens qui nous ont réussi quand nous sommes nouvellement arrivés. Ils étaient là, ils nous ont vu arriver. Nous sommes ici déjà depuis 6 ans presque déjà. Nous essayons de s'adapter. Nous sommes adaptés. C'était pas facile comme c'est là le cas pour plusieurs personnes. Mais Dieu a fait grâce. Nous sommes là. Nous sommes là. Je ne vais pas utiliser mon micro. Ça sonne pas tellement bien.
Ako pambo Abongi nangai nalingi Yesu nabomoi nangai nakosalela ye kindoliwa atana pasi atape minyoko nakotika yete abongi nangai 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 abongi nangai. Abongi nangai, abongi nangai, abongi nangai.
Otele mingai na fukami, oneto mina mikisisi. Epai na yonde na suibomo, ya libera seko na seko. Oyo lobinde na kotosa, oyo lakinde na kosimba, oyo sali na kobombate, kumisa mazambe na mawa, natatoli na bomoi nanga, Yesu ne mokonzi. Natatoli na bomoi nanga, Yesu ne mokonzi.
Na motema na ngai na esika ebulisami epai ozanga mpe nazali yanga na yo ekosila te moninga oya ntango nyonso lolu nazwi nde koyeba yo yo nde osengeli mpo na ngai Yesu yaya yoza malamu Nalinginanga masia naponinanga seyo oya kotanga motema kaka yo papa osilisanga posa ya mokili likolo ya bolingo na yo kaka yo papa Yesu
ya mai na bomo efandelo ya babulami ekoki ya nzela na lola bolingo ya bolenge bwanga natanga te kombo mosusu penepene ya kombo na yo lokola yo akouta wapi epai na yo nyonso ekoki natatoli na bomoi nanga Yesu nde mokonzi natatoli na bomoi nanga Yesu nde mokonzi ngai nalingi ye
nalingi nanga masia naponi nanga seyo oya kotanga motema kaka yo papa osilisanga posa ya mokili likolo ya bolingo na yo kaka yo papa Yesu opesanga posa ya mokili likolo ya bolingo na yo kaka yo papa Yesu yaponi motema na ngai Yesu yo motema na ngai Yesu yo motema na ngai Yesu yo bolingo na ngai Yesu yo makasi na ngai Yesu yo ndesengo na ngai Yesu ekimela bomoi na ngai Yesu esengo ya bomoi na ngai Yesu kimia ya motema na ngai Yesu kimia ya motema na ngai Yesu kumama yawe kumama mama yawe kumama yawe kumama kumama yawe kumama yawe kumama kumama yawe kumama yawe kumama kumama yawe 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 kumama kumama yawe kumama yawe kumama yawe kumama yawe kumama Yesu oh Yesu na ngai 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 yawe kumama 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 yawe kumama
That was some wonderful music, man. It never disappoints to be Congolese when the music is playing. And you add the Holy Ghost on there, you're just kind of like, okay, I wasn't supposed to be praying in tongue, but then that happens. So thank you so very much to the many people who are connected online watching us. And we have come to an end of this very wonderful talk that we had. We have a room full of people. Thank you so very much for coming and participating on this very unique and wonderful conversation. I think we should be having conversation like this a little bit more often within our communities. It's much needed. Can we agree? All right. Thank you so very much. Once again, my name is Grace Mutombo. We are live on Facebook. I'm live on my page. If you happen to get some of the information that we got, you want to know how to get in contact with me, Grace Mutombo. I'm on Facebook. I'm on Instagram. And if you know any one of the people that were on the panel, feel free to reach out. The least we can do is to just pass on the information and keep the conversation going. So I want to thank the panel. All the panelists went out already. And I just wanted to wish you guys a great night. And we look forward to being connected again. And good evening, everybody.